Triglav took a lot. In fact, all 10 previous mountains combined weighed less on me than mountain number 11. For the love of God, do not want to fall down there at all. I suggested to my mum I could get up at 3 AM, give it another go, because I'm sure third time I could do it. And she said, I think we both know the answer to that. I didn't know the answer to that until she said that. Okay, that was dramatic, but it felt dramatic. Triglav is a fascinating mountain. The summit was first conquered back in 1778 by 4 mountaineers, and at parts the ridge was like a knife's edge. Since then, it has been artificially widened, and metal rods known as via ferrata fitted for safety. However, imagine the first mountaineers sitting astride a saddle on the ridge, which is not far from the truth. They had to edge along the ridge like they were riding a horse. But what makes Triglav so special is that it is steeped in Slovenian culture. It is the duty of every Slovenian to climb Triglav at least once in their lives. I've just finished work, just got home. I kind of think I've packed. I only know where I'm staying for the first night, and then I don't know what. 19 hours later. Big and beautiful the mountains are there, and the mountains over there. I was staying the first night in Mostrana, which is the closest village to Triglav. I just need to go to a museum to buy a map right now. I've got my map. The only route I can do Pramma Valley. The problem with this route is that it's super long. 16 kilometers one way. I've not slept, and I will be getting up at 4 or 5 AM. I need to start it really early in the morning so that the snow hasn't started to melt. From Mostrana, I need to walk 10 kilometers to the starting point. Once there, I will hike the 16 kilometers to the mountain hut, then to the peak, and then back to the mountain hut where I will spend the night.
Been thinking of who I am, am I enough if I'm not a man? 'Cause I've been caught in between the masculine, the feminine, what does it even mean?
The trail starts when you pass the last car park on the road.
In snow conditions, I think it will take longer than 4 to 5 hours. If I can do it in 7 hours to the hut, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. I'll be happy.
Something to buy the button, yeah.
I'm like thigh high in snow. Just following the steps of someone who'd ski down rather than the trail. Slight detour. Now that. I think it's nice and gentle. Might not be saying that later.
Sunlight that always stays. Dinner by the waterway.
I need to be over there. I'm not saying I'm too far this way. Too far right, then too far left. Can't win. But I'm a bit lost. I'm no longer lost. And now I've got to go 900 meters up. A massive hill. It's so sunny. It's getting sludgy. Flat snowshoes would be better. I keep going through the snow so much. I'm exhausted and not made much progress at all.
But it was only 2.8 kilometers to the hut.
Snow's just melting so fast. Every foot I get in, up to my waist in snow. And it's so sunny, I don't think I could finish it.
Only then did I realise that my window of opportunity had closed. Going back, I knew the snow would be manageable. Going forward, it was uncertain.
But I literally couldn't get through the snow. It was so thick. And instead I'm doing a 15-kilometre walk back.
Not a task I particularly relished. In total that day, I probably hiked 34 kilometres and then getting lost. And then the filming on top of that. Every time I film, I have to then go back and get my camera. I must have done like 40 kilometres to be honest. Maybe a little less. I'm so tired.
I'm finding it really hard to film me walking away. Just imagine me walking down there. Until this became this. Shattered and dejected, I trudged back to Mutstrana. Typically, my videos start at the beginning of the route and track the journey till I'm at the country's tallest point. But for this attempt, I can't bear that. Instead, I will jump from issue to issue to issue and rip this off like a bandage. And in that vein, issue number 1 was waiting for my next window of opportunity.
The next window of good weather is in a couple of days.
This meant my original plan to complete Triglav in 3 days, well, it needed adjusting, with a new objective to simply complete Triglav.
To stay here, not go to Croatia, and just do it.
I would also have to sack off my original plan to go and tackle Croatia's highest point. Next, I needed to find cheap accommodation within Mutstrana, as it looked like I would be staying in Slovenia a bit longer.
I can stay in a different bed each night. I wouldn't because it's wasteful on washing, but I could.
Issue number 2.
I need to find snowshoes.
But, for reasons beyond my control, no ski shops were open, which meant I had to search a little bit harder. So with a little trip to the stairs of somebody's front garden, I sourced my shoes. The next issue was food.
So it's Labour Day, which means that all the shops are closed. I didn't know that it was going to be Labour Day, but there's one restaurant in this small village that isn't closed. No shops will be open tomorrow either. There's a lady here
Called Sonia.
who might drive to either Austria or Italy, go to a supermarket.
This would save me from taking a pizza up the mountain, but in the meantime, I feasted on
Bag of seeds today. I don't know if you can overdose on seeds. Eating 500 calories worth of seeds. Sonia has got me dates, apples, bread, bananas, nuts, chocolate bars. And that's so nice.
issue number 4. I didn't want the snow to melt, so this time I set my alarm for 2:15. I even practiced packing my bag the night before.
Snowshoe thing, really big. I am not going to film at all.
Much? Let's just say this time I wouldn't be stopping to film a snail on my way.
My whole focus is to get up that mountain. All I can do is try. I've made it to where the snow starts, 7:10.
It also became clear that I needn't have worried about the sun. Issue number 5. You're not stupid, but inexperienced. To be honest, I felt stupid. I think I'm heading through that. It's pretty steep. You can't really see much. Even if I wanted to go back that way, I couldn't. So I'm just going to continue on. Nearly at 2,000 meters, but I, for the love of God, do not want to fall down there at all. I was the only person with footprints going up there because nobody's so fucking mental. Right, new lesson to me is if you download a map, follow it. But if everybody else's footprints are going a different way, don't just go follow the map. That was freaking terrifying. And I'm on this straight bit. It's not a blizzard, but it's windy and I can't see a fucking thing. The reason I was able to get up that is because I'd be like, well, I can't physically go back down. Just walk 100 steps till you have 3 points of contact really stuffed into the snow. And then keep going. And then when I get to 100, I do another 100 steps. And then I count another 100 steps. My GPS started jumping from location to location, and I wasn't confident on where I was on the physical map. After a couple of hours, I started to panic, unable to make any progress. I didn't know where to go, I was freezing cold, and I felt trapped. My phone became water damaged and wouldn't charge, and it would be dark in a few hours. So I took the drastic action of calling 112. I'm such a fool. The helicopter is gonna come and get me. Maps just kept going round in circles, and everywhere I thought I wasn't. I'm just stuck in the middle of nowhere in a snowstorm. It wasn't the smoothest rescue. I can't speak Slovenian and I had no confidence in my coordinates. It took a couple of hours because the helicopter couldn't land, so 3 wonderful mountain rescue volunteers had to get dropped off a few miles away and come find me via a different route on foot. It was the lead volunteer who said to me, "You're not stupid, you're just inexperienced." I am so grateful for their help.
I suggested to my mum I could get up at 3 a.m. the next morning and give it another go because I'm sure third time I could do it. She said, "I think we both know the answer to that." I didn't know the answer to that until she said that. So when I stopped trying.
Stopping meant I had no more distractions, and I felt foolish and frustrated at my failure. And embarrassed too. But then London called and told me, "It is done now. Be stoic." And that helped.
Today is a new day.
I had plans to meet Nancy in Croatia, so I left for Split, where I could bury my head in seafood-filled sand.
Shortcut, are you sure about this? See a train?
And have a nice time with Nancy.
This is nice.
It is nice. With pebbly beaches.
You know what word reminds me of you?
Quietly raging.
Are you quietly raging right now?
No, I'm very relaxed.
Leisurely.
That's a good word.
Let's walk. Halfway up the hill, Nancy was like, "I regret suggesting this." But now I don't, because it's beautiful. Look at that view.
Right, Louise, so what just happened?
I thought I was leaving tomorrow. I booked my flight home for a week ago.
Do you remember me saying that smiling is a defense mechanism?
Spending £200.
For another plane ticket and hold luggage for my ice axe.
The joys.
You know the saying, every penny counts? That's 20,000 pennies wasted. A few months later, I had conquered Kekes. I had summited Snezka, but Triglav itched my brain, and there was only one way to scratch it.
I was planning on renting the equipment, emailed the people and they said it's all reserved because I've had to buy hold luggage, all my clothes and towels, everything's going to go in this small bag.
Packing light for the hike. I was taking an indirect route there as flights to Ljubljana, Slovenia's capital, were too expensive. Instead, I would be flying to Venice and then taking a bus. On landing in Venice, I found out that my bag had opened as it was transported, meaning my loose possessions were spread across the conveyor belt. Fortunately, I recovered everything apart from my toothpaste, toothbrush and deodorant. Then I waited for a delayed bus to Ljubljana. I hadn't even arrived in Slovenia yet and my plans were falling apart.
The mountain hut that I booked to start the route is closed due to storms coming in, so I've had to spend €80 on a capsule, which is this. All my stuff has to go in the capsule with me. They don't give us a locker. I'm not paying extra. €80 for this is a lot. I hope of not being able to climb this mountain. I feel quite low. I'm smiling defense mechanism. I do feel quite low. Sunday tomorrow, so all the shops are closed, so I can't buy an anorak if it's going to be raining. I know. I'll buy bin liners.
Perhaps packed a little too light.
The thing I really like about the capsule is playing with these lights. And miraculously, the storm seems to have not hit yesterday, not going to hit today, not going to hit tomorrow.
Overnight, the weather had transformed from this to this, with the crux of the storm having hit 2 days earlier, which meant
I'm going to start the mountain today.
just filmed this route so many times. But this time, the route was in a state of devastation. There's so much trees that have clearly been blown over by the storm. Humongous trees, just completely uprooted. Still not at the starting point, and it's like 1 p.m. Third time lucky. I don't need luck. I can do it. A barrier blocked my path, but on Google Translate it seems to say no cycling, so I continued. This is the hut that I had planned to stay in the day before, and for the third time, this is the starting point. Surprised by how beautiful it is. This is like Narnia. cliff is the one I climbed up of. Went straight up there and couldn't come back down. 1,837 metres high. Mountain rescued from. 1,985. $2,103. You can see people on the ledge. 2,443 meters or feet, I'm not sure. I'd say meters. Could be feet though. 220 meters from the mountain hut. I'm so tired. I need a drink of water. Because in total I think it's like 22 kilometers, maybe more. Hiking like 9 hours.
I hit it all the way. You're welcome. Nice. Oh. Yeah, please.
The last attempt was a contrasting experience of solitude, ecstasy of achievement, and the joy of meeting some wonderful mountaineers who sung to me about Edelweiss. Not this that I found or this, but looks like this. The gentlemen this video touches upon were all gentlemen. But I also felt scared. I was repeatedly harassed by men both on and off the mountain when waiting for buses. There was also a stranger waiting for me in a dark corridor of the mountain hut who persistently tried to get me to go to his dorm and followed me. And men would regularly pull their cars by as I walked along the roads to pester me. It is not unusual for women to be harassed, particularly if they are travelling alone, but I had never experienced it so frequently and unexpectedly within such a condensed time frame. The music I just played, that's how it felt. But enough said about that. Getting home was as long as it was getting there. It said it was going to be sunny, the weather changed, so I left all the bin bags, apart from one, with my dirty clothes in, emptied my dirty clothes into my bag, and I'm using my bin. I'm drenched. My mistake was ripping 2 armholes into the bag to stick my arms through. The down jacket sleeves were exposed and soaked up the rain, drenching the whole of the jacket. Instead, I should have worn it like a poncho to avoid wearing a wetsuit. I've walked 20 kilometers and still have an hour more to walk until I get to where I need to catch the bus. I don't even know where I'm staying, but it is worth it.